Hi guys, it's Promise Basin here again. Okay guys, it's another wonderful Wednesday and trust you are having a wonderful day. Okay guys, we are going to be learning 3D text this time. And you know one or something about this 3D text is once you add them on your design, it makes the design more exciting. And you know another wonderful thing about this tutorial is that this is by far the simplest way to get this text effect. Okay, there are other ways you can use to maneuver and get something like this, but this is the by far the simplest way. Okay guys, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna start by going over to this background interface here for me to change to a white. Okay, I'm trying to delete everything. It's telling me that if I click this OK button, everything is gonna be lost, so I'm gonna click it now. So I will head over to this other interface for tools to work on background. Okay, you can see that the dimension of this now is square. I mean dimension, I mean the ratio of the width to the height is square. Okay, but the one I used on the design is landscape, so we are going to change it with this tool here, the road image size. So we'll click on the tool now. So this is the size for the width and this is the size for the height. It's the same because it's square, so you can maneuver, change the width and maneuver and also change the height. But I have a default dimension here for what I want to do, so no need for me to start changing the number. So I'll click YouTube thumbnail here, YouTube thumbnail, and look at the size here, 1280 and the other one is 720. So I'll click OK now and I have the dimension. So what next is going over to change the color. So I'll use this color tool now in the same interface, in the same background interface. So I'll click this color tool now, go over to gradient now. So look at the gradient I used now, but I'm not gonna use it now. I'm gonna use the default gradient here, then create the gradient so you know how to create it next time. Okay, so I'm gonna click a gradient that is on default here in pixellab. So we'll have this gradient as default. So we use this plus button next to these color balls here. So we click the plus button now, and this arrangement you're gonna see. Okay, here over here is the gradient arrangement. Like if you look closely, you're gonna see how these gradients are arranged. How they are arranged is what you're also gonna see on this big screen here. Like the enlargement here is what you're gonna see. Let's say we click on this one, you see it has affected the same pattern of color arrangement here, gradient arrangement here, also here. Okay, so we click on this one, you see the same pattern. Okay, that is how it works. So what you just want to have to do is change the colors here, and then you can maneuver with all these ones. Then this one here is for you adding, is for you to add colors. You use it to add the colors you want. So the colors I had there was let's click on this first color plate now, then we'll go over to this here, then we use this button that looks more like a pencil. So we'll click on it now. It's gonna bring up the code of the color, so we type in the code now. So I'm gonna cancel all this code now and type in my own code now. So the code there is a color code, I mean, so the code there is EF1F. so we'll click good now and we are okay. So we'll click good now. Okay, so that is it for this one up now. So before we continue, we'll have to change to this other color gradient arrangement. You see this gradient arrangement now, that is the gradient arrangement we used there, because one color was more like from center to dispersing and the other color was more like surrounded. Okay, so you see now we are going to change this other color now because we've gotten the gradient arrangement we need now. So we'll go over to this color tool there, this color tool below, we'll tap on it now. So to change this color now, use the same pencil tool now to type in the color we want. So our color now is F3. Don't use small letters, use capital letters. Okay, so I will click this good button and I have my color. I'll click OK now and I will click OK again. Okay, what do you see now? This is more like what I got there, but it's not arranged. You see this color now is in the middle and this other one is surrounded. Why this one is in the middle? So what we are gonna do, just switch these guys now. Take this one to here and take this one over, or you leave them now and look at what you do. You see these two here is used to switch all these colors. This other two, this second, this third one, once you click on it, it's gonna switch the color. You see that switched it for me now, so no stress. Now I'm gonna click OK and I have the color in my background. Next is for me to get my text, so I'll click OK now. Use this plus button, click on it, then over to that of text, and then I'm gonna draw here and draw, and then I'm gonna double tap on it to type in the text. The text I use there is design, so I'm gonna type in design. So I'll click OK. So I'm gonna drag this guy now. So I will go over to the font interface so I can work on this, because it's a font. If I'm on the shape or background interface, I'm not going to see the tools to work on this shape. So I'll go over to font interface, so I'll see the tools to work on this text now. So on this font interface now, I'll go over to this font tool here. It has a letter capital B, capital A and small b. So I'll type on it now. And I'll go over to my recent font, because I must have used the font I used for that design, because that was a Montserrat font and everybody loves using Montserrat. So this is my recent here. This is my font for other font in case I want to use other font, but I want to use the Montserrat because I've recently used it. So this is the font I use, Montserrat black. So I'm tapping on it now and it has affected on the font. So I'll click OK now. So I think it's too big, so I'll resize it and place it somewhere here. So something like this is good now. So from the design there, you can see our text is curved. So for you to curve text, look at the tool you use here in the same alphabet interface or text interface. Look at the tool you use here. This tool that looks more like a curved line with alphabets also curved on it. So you click on it now. It has the bending of 0%. So for you to curve it, you have to increase this bending from 0%. So you use this plus here, you press 1, you have bending of 5, and you press again bending of 10. It increases in the order of 5. Okay, with this bending now we are okay. We have a bending of 5 now. So then we are going to change the color. So we'll go over to this color tool in the same text interface. So we'll click on the color tool now, and this is the color I used there, but I'm gonna use this plus button so you see the color codes. You guys know how to add colors. So this is the color code 3B0F8A. So that is the color code. So we'll click OK now, and then we'll click good button up now. So it's time for us to add stroke to this text now. So we'll go over to add stroke to it. Use the stroke tool in the same alphabet interface. So on the stroke tool now, look at the stroke tool, looks more like an outline circle. So we'll click on it now on the stroke tool, and the same color we use for the text is the same color we are going to use for the stroke. So I will click on this color I use for the text and add a stroke of 20. A stroke of 20, and I'm good now. So I'm going to place this guy somewhere here, move it a little bit. So it's time for me to add shadow to the text, because there was shadow also. After you add stroke, you then add shadow. So look at the shadow tool here. Looks more like a circle that has shadow also. So you know it's simple. So we'll click on the shadow tool and on it now. So we'll have shadows. But the shadow there is added for me is a black shadow, but the shadow I use on that one is not black. So watch closely on the arrangement we are going to use to get the shadow. So first of all, we are going to use this yellow for the shadow. We are not going to use black for the shadow. We are going to use yellow, but we are going to make it a little darker. So we use this plus button. Look at the yellow here. Look at the color code E88900, but we are still going to work on it. So you note this one, you can add this one and then start working on it. So let's work on it to make it a little darker. Okay, so somewhere here now is good. The color code is B96D00. So we'll click OK now, and then we are going to offset it to bring out the shadow. We offset X. The blur radius is still 10, so opacity is still 100%. So we offset X now. We offset it by X, and then we offset Y. Y is to bring it down. So then I will reduce the blur radius to 5. Blur radius of 5. So I will still offset Y again, probably to 10. Okay, offset Y to 10. Okay, so then I'll click this good button now because I'm okay now. So then I'll copy this other design now. So I'm gonna copy it now with this copy tool. So I'm gonna off all these effects now. I'm gonna off shadow from this one I copied though. I'm gonna off shadow now. I'm gonna off the shadow. Okay, so I'm done offing the shadow now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a shape and merge it with this design now, exactly without working after offing the shadow, and then I'm gonna get a shape and merge it with this other design, this one I copied and off the shadow now. So I'll get the shape now, then reduce the size, and then click OK. Then make the shape invisible, our normal pattern way of turning a shape, an image or whatever to a shape. Okay, so then I click the layer now. So I have this button here below. Once you tap on it, it brings up boxes. So I have boxes now. I'm gonna mark the ones I want to merge. So I'll mark the two of them, and then I'm gonna merge it. So this text now is now a shape, because if you go over, we are in the alphabet interface and there's no tool to work on it because it's now a shape. But let's move over to the shape interface and we'll have tool to work on it now. So then it's time for us to add stroke to this text now. So we'll go over to this stroke tool in this shape tool. Okay, this is a shape. Sorry, I called it a text. It's a shape now because we merged it with a shape, so it's now a shape. So we'll go back to this stroke tool in shape tool in shape interface. So on the stroke now, and look at the stroke we have here is on default. Once you on the stroke, it's gonna add a stroke of white. So you change now to whatever stroke color you need. Okay, so we change the stroke color to purple. Okay, more like light purple. So we use this plus button now. I'm gonna call the color code so you add it also. So this is the tool that looks like pencil for adding color code. So we'll tap on it, we'll cancel this color code here, cancel this color code now. So I'm going to type in the color code. Color code is 669D8. okay, so we'll click OK, and this is the purple there. This is the color code 692AD8. So we'll click OK now, and then we'll have the stroke now. So the stroke of 2 that was added as default is okay. So then I will place for it adjust perfectly well. Okay, I think this is good now. Okay, so we are gonna add a 3D effect on this shape. Okay, we're gonna add a 3D effect on it. So we'll go over to the same alphabet interface and head over to 3D now. So on the 3D effect, because we are gonna add a 3D effect to it. So on the 3D, and you're gonna see what it's gonna have here on 3D is looking more like, let me bring this guy up, it's looking as if it's cracked, you see, because I added a 3D. So what you do is whenever you on the 3D tool, just head over, let me head over to this 3D. Once you on it, just head over to this light angle stuff, just head over to it, and then you off it. Once you off it, you are free to work on anything. Once it's not offed, anything you do is gonna be cracked. So you see this simulate lightning, once you head over to it, just off it and you are okay. You can work you can add whatever stuff you want to add, and then you are okay. So then from perspective, change to oblique, because oblique will allow you to work with angles, to change the angle of the depth of your 3D. But with perspective, you cannot do that. Okay, you see, you don't have any perspective angle, so you change to oblique, so you have angles for you to work on and change, and change the depth. Okay, so then we are going to change the angle of the depth of this now. So we change the angle now to 280. So note, oblique angle, you're gonna change to 280. I left it to 279 because if I touch now I might overdo. So then we'll reduce the depth. We're gonna reduce the depth really well, so we don't need much depth for this. So a depth of 5 is okay for us. So we'll click this good button now, and then we're gonna bring this one here, and then we are good now. So we'll copy this one below again. We are copying a lot of stuff on this tutorial. So then we'll remove this shadow that is below the text. We'll remove the shadow now. So we'll remove off the shadow and we'll head over to the color tool in this the same alphabet interface. So we'll head over to color tool now, and we are going to change all the whole arrangement we did for this one. We are going to change it for this one now, because this is the one that is going to be on top now. This is the gradient color I have now. This is the gradient color. I also have stroke on this one now, so I'm going to off the stroke. I also have stroke on this one, so I'm going to off the stroke now. So the stroke is off now. I don't have any stroke on this one now. So now let me work on the color now. This is the gradient for the background, and this is also the gradient for the background. But the gradient I used on the text you saw before we started this design is not same as this. Look at the gradient here, but you might not know how to create it. So I'm going to create it so you also learn. So I'm going to choose one of the colors here, default color here. Probably you're going to see this one in your pixellab. So you tap on it, you use this plus button now. You head over to the same gradient arrangement. I touched this thing earlier, so you tap on the first one. This is the one up here. This gradient default gradient arrangement is what we are going to use. So you tap on this one up, this color up now, which is this one, and use this color tool now. So we use this pencil tool here and click on it, so we can impute the colors now. So we are imputing the colors now. So we'll have the first color is F F437. And we'll click good now, and we are done with the color up now. So over to the color below, so we'll click on that one, and this is the color now, this is the color plate, and this is the color now. So click on this one, this color plate here, which is for this color. Now we use this color tool, we'll click on it now and use the same pencil now to type in the color now. That's the same pencil tool. So we'll type in the color is FF00. okay, we are cool now. So I'll click good now and click OK and OK. So this is the color now, so you click OK. So I'll click OK now. Then we are going over to this 3D tool, and I'm going to teach you guys something. What do you observe now? You see in this depth color, this is the depth color, the color of the 3D extrude. That is the 3D extrude, the depth of the 3D. This is the color now. But what will happen? Let's say I change this color now. This is this test now that is up. Let's try change the color to white. You see the white I have here is not the white I'm seeing, because of what I have this darken on. You see this darkens the color because it's more like an extrude of a 3D shape. Okay, the front is not with the same color as the depth. Okay, so this is it, because this darken is on. If I'm to reduce this darken to 0 now, the exact color I have here is this exact color I will still be seen in the 3D. So we've reduced it to 0 now because we want to add our own color now. So let me use this color now. This is a more like a red. So then we'll use this plus button to maneuver now to get a color. Okay, if I get a color, you copy the color code now. So we are gonna use more like a yellow color that is a little bit dark and bright. Okay guys, this is good. So copy it, DD8800. So we'll click OK and we are good now. So but then we are going to reduce the depth. We don't need much depth for this. So we'll first of all reduce to 1, then we'll start adding little. Okay, a depth of 3 is good. We don't need much depth for this. A depth of 3 is good now. So we'll click OK, and then we are going to add shadow to it to make it look much more realistic. So we'll on this shadow tool now, and you know we have shadow to it now. We have shadow, but the shadow there is also black, because on default if you on the shadow, it's going to add a black shadow for you. So we use this plus button now, and then we'll add a purple shadow, a purple color shadow. Look at the colors here. You can tap on it and you see the shadow is adding here. So we use this plus button now to add a color, because that is the color of the shadow now we are trying to change. So I'll switch over to purple, and then I'm gonna get a dark purple, more like black, but not that black, but it's still purple, say in the gene. So this is it now. No need to work on it, just change the color to dark purple. Okay, more like this is purple like this. Okay, look at the arrangement. Opacity 100, blur reduce 100, offset 00. Okay, we'll click good now, and then we'll place it perfectly well. Okay guys, this is good now. So I'm gonna copy this guy again, remove almost everything. I'm gonna remove the 3D. I'm gonna remove off the 3D, and I'm gonna off the shadow, and I think I'm good now. So I'm gonna place this guy to lap perfectly well, so I don't know that anything is wrong there. So it's lapping now. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go over to inner shadow on this text now that I copied and removed everything now, the text on top now. So I'll go over to inner shadow now. On inner shadow, I'm gonna on it now, but you see what I have now. Reduce the blur reduce of the inner shadow to 0. Then you change the color of the inner shadow to white. After changing the color of the inner shadow to white, what you're gonna do now is the offset, this X offset, increase it to 2. So you see it has now added more effect to it. I think we didn't place this guy really well, so we'll place it perfectly well so it will suit him. Okay, so we'll click good now. Okay guys, this is it. Look at an awesome looking 3D. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching this wonderful tutorial. Okay guys, if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, don't forget to hit the like button, drop your comments, and also share this video. You're not the only one to benefit from it. And okay guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget, keep practicing, and see you next Wednesday.